blended up a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught. It's looking a bit dangerous though. I think Tulica might think better of it. Go back with the rest of your team, mate. You've got Puerto Paraíso to go to. But no, he wants to get stuck in. In the meantime, Orangutan scrapping it out over in Chumacera. At the moment, they found Reefus. I think that's the only player in that location as well. Going to be difficult to get this one back up for Alpha Gaming. And a nice little pickup. Keep that ball rolling for OG. They are currently in 4th place. And they're going to add that extra point to the tally, make that 40. Nice, clean round number. And that's where we said we wanted to see teams at the end of a single day, right, over that 40-point threshold to look safer to going towards that 7th place.
Yeah, Thunder Talk's in a really good position right now at 57. OG just breaking that barrier of 40 is perfect for them going into tomorrow. They just need to keep up this kind of pace. I think for OG, coming into the first day and getting 40 points is a really, really big deal, especially for India in general, because typically what has happened a lot of times is that when we've seen India in international tournaments, a lot of times they play catch-up second day, just because they haven't had enough international experience by that point. So OG actually picking up 40 points here is a massive change within the scene for them, and will be very beneficial for them going into tomorrow. Our rate similarly at 55 points. I don't think many teams saw that one coming, but that's extremely potent. If Mad Bulls can get another strong Miramar finish now, it's all but settled that they'll pick up that top 7.
Yeah, it's got to be fairly. We're looking more and more likely as time goes on. We'll put it that way. As we said, towards the middle of the day somewhere. Can't remember exactly where. I'm expecting that bubble on 7th place to be around 110 points. Could be a little bit more, a little bit less. So getting up to 40 points will give you 120 points on average. And that's when you're going to start to see yourself nice and safe. So the further you go over that metric, the better. But at the moment, Alpha Gaming, they want to get off of last place, I think is really the name of the game for them right now. Because it is not where they want to be. And losing a player early is not how you start that one out. Bad news bears for Alpha Gaming.
It's so hard to talk about this team in general, just because they change so often. I mean, overall, today's gameplay has been pretty poor. Let's be honest, right? I think everyone can agree that Alpha Gaming hasn't played fantastically well today. And I think that it's a sad. Wow, that is a very nice shot. What the? Okay. With the scar as well. I mean, it's really impressive. Actually insanely impressive at that distance. Yeah, I think everyone can agree today that Alpha Gaming has not been playing very well. But they chop and they change so frequently in terms of their performance metrics that it's very hard to talk about them in a bad light without going tomorrow and then a lot of Mongolian fans getting angry at me because suddenly they have 80 points. Because that could easily happen.
Yeah, that's true. But at the moment, they're definitely not getting 80 points. They're down to 2 players now, Top and Ziol, isolated from one another. And it looks like OG are sort of aware of where these players start and where they drop. Spots Ziol on the ridgeline. WizGod, he doesn't want to take that fight. The rest of his team's got it under control. Tanky, not so strong this time on the flick. Ziol may actually get the flush there, but is actually going to be able to pick up a buggy because of it. This is going to be a get out of jail card for him. WizGod decided just not to take the fight.
Yeah, I mean, he actually delivered in the taxi. I think that's it's an annoying maneuver for OG right there. I think you have to assume that he's going to take the vehicle though once it lobs down the hill. I don't think he's going to take another fight. So I think for OG, the mistake there is just not pushing harder as soon as they lose the first player. But again, if you're down to 3, they want to be careful. They don't know where the off angle is as well. You just a little bit more patient with it. If you're happy to play on with 3, give up the 1 elimination. That's fine. So I think OG can just continue on here. It's a little bit frustrating losing that buggy though.
And that is not an ideal turnaround for it. We have Oh, I believe we have an interview coming up soon, which will be nice to hear from 7WG down on the stage. The guy has all the best info. I'm going to guess it's with the Mad Bulls. We'll see if I'm right as we head over to 7WG on the spot.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm here with the team that's hot. Mad Bulls, Tulika nonetheless. Great back-to-back performances. Second place finish and then a first place finish. How are you guys feeling?
Ну, отличная битва. На четвертой карте второе место, пятой карте первое место. Как ты себя чувствуешь? Как команда вообще чувствует?
Отлично. Приятно играть в глобальные турниры, когда у тебя хорошая команда.
Very good when you have nicely teammates. Very good when you have nicely teammates to play global tournaments.
That's great to hear. Now, with this momentum, what are you looking to do here in this last match?
Сейчас какие планы на последний матч, шестой последний матч игрового дня?
Каждую игру мы стараемся забирать топ-1, каждую игру играть как последнюю.
So every match they will try to get, play for win. So sixth match plan is also play to win.
All right, I like that. I like that confidence. Thank you so much, brother. Back to you.
Hey, that's one of those, yeah, we got to play well answers. So there you go from Mad Bulls.
Gotta give a 100%, 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to give 110%.
Give 100%.
Loads of points.
Yeah, just lock it down, lock it down. Pretty good teammates.
Got to try really hard.
Get those wins. That's what I'm talking about. Again, is the difference between OG's interview with AKOP and that interview with Tulika, which is a generalization game. You know, I much prefer to hear the real thoughts. But I suppose, you know, being able to play with your friends on a massive international scale is probably quite fun.
Ooh, a nice little shutdown there. It
They
is Alpha
hunted him
Gaming going
down too. Yeah.
Entirely. Yeah, they really were out for blood there. Chumacera is being claimed by OG right now. Seems fairly successfully. And it looks kind of like Alpha Gaming having a real tough time on like all of their drop spots on Erangel in military base getting contested, although they did push GS away from that one this time around. It's gone pretty poorly for them on Chumacera. And we'll see if OG can make it into the next circle.
I actually, it's the first time it might be a case of like, I think that Alpha Gaming just might not make it through the Gauntlet stage, and they'll be forced to play out the rest of the tournament. Just because I'm not feeling it right now. I really am not feeling it. And I think that tomorrow there's potential at like a 22-point game for them, but even then, it's not enough. Sitting the team down from Regnum Carrier. What a play that was. The 180 flick. Dear me.
My man with the pump action doing so much on the inside, and now Loxy has to turn around or run away. Tail between the legs. Regnum Kaya sent dizzy by the pump action. How, that is crazy. That's a bit of mistiming from Regnum Kaya. It has to be said, though. Allowing that to happen, you need to step in at the same time, take those angles together.
Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff. I mean, a quick fling in the concrete with sighting. Went poorly. No second date for Regnum Kaya, that's for sure. Alpha 7 now looking over towards ESR. I mean, DBS. The gun is consistently getting nerfed, but still seems to be able to one-shot people at mid to close range.
I mean,
so PUBG Mobile team, let's take a look at that one again, please.
His DBS doesn't work like mine, I swear. Mine's completely different. They nerfed mine, they haven't nerfed his. It's insane.
Yeah, your DBS so small. His DBS so big.
It's so big, man. Like I just can't, just can't handle it.
No,
Wolves. Thunder Talk. Gonna be holding on to those concretes on the inside. Having a good time of things now with Regnum Kaya got sent to the wind. Backed off, a 19-point day for Regnum Kaya, looking closer and closer now. And again, it's a similar story to Alpha Gaming, who are currently not in last place. The tiebreaker somehow won by Alpha Gaming. What can Ulf do?
Yeah, well, I think 25 points, it's not a bad finish of the day, and especially for North America. All right, you know, Hot Jukes was joking. I actually don't know if he was joking at the start of the day about Wolves so being his #1 pick, but I think this is a significant improvement for North America.
Yeah, not last place.
Yeah. I mean, Alpha Gaming's last place, which is also an insane statement to make. Oh, Ulf is. Never mind.
Yeah.
How is Ulf last place? Did they
Tiebreaker,
lose a point?
No, they're both on 12 points.
Yeah, I know, but I swear that Ulf was above APG just a second ago.
Yeah, but look, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's got like
as
a
to what's
minus
happening on
point.
that. I mean, Ulf, yeah, so Ulf had 11 elims and 1 placement, which is why they're losing the tiebreaker right now. But if they get 1 more point, they just win it again. APG got 1 point out of their fight. In the meantime, GS and DRX up on the ridge side, and DRX having a tough time of things, but it's definitely going to be able to be, it's resable. It's super resable here. Virtus.pro get the point though, which isn't great for DRX. They're not happy about that one, but they're happy that they can survive for a moment longer. ESO though wants to change that. Is the DBS going to find the range? Not quite chewing through him as he wants it to, as 4 players roll around the ridge, and they are going to take him down. ESO not so lucky there.
I mean, great, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm glad to see the DBS not come through once again. No, it was so good before, but you know, that is the problem with the DBS at the moment. It's just a little bit inconsistent. Much like DRX right now. As Virtus.pro continue to bully this team. Starting to flow over towards the top side. Voston finding 1. Milky Way is down, but Aragon, Malloy, and Moston are still up and available and could look to clean out this. Jafar is just spraying. He is just spraying and praying, and it's working.
I mean, fair enough. He does get taken down by Voston from Virtus.pro, who are moving out now of Tierra Bronca. On the northeast side, they'll move up to this ridgeline. Not too much in the way of obstacles for them for the next step, but DXavier are just further on down that road, closer to the center of the circle. And we know that Virtus.pro can do some pretty crazy things on the rotates. We'll see what they're getting up to in the future. OG, being very careful on these dunes, on these defilades. Wanted to get out of the blue zone, playing on the northwest side. They are playing as 3, though. So a bit diminished in terms of firepower this time around. They've got 4 elims already, though, so not the end of the world. We saw the taxi delivery from a tanky over the top. A little bit too overzealous. It felt like WizGod just didn't take any shots. And that wasn't best communicated to the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think it's one of those cases where Tanky went a little bit early, and then you have a case of the rest of the team not knowing where the off-angle is in dot, so they just go to one to push it. And Ravage fall under 3 players and get more consistent time for the rest of the day, which I think is fair. I think that is fair. It would have been nicer if Tanky didn't take the buggy with him. That's for sure.
That is kind of the big kicker, right? It's you take away one of your vehicles and you give it away to the enemy team, who you probably could have flushed. Maybe that's why they were on the hunt so vehemently to try and close that fight down. With Alpha 7 not making that 40-point mark on this day, with their game closing out on 38. That's not what they wanted to be, but it's still very solid. Oh, DXavier. They found a little caltrop in the middle there in the form of the remnants of Regnum Kaya, but they will stay alive. I don't think anyone's going to third-party this, so they'll be able to get the reses going. There are shots pinging out their way, but for now, it's fine.
Yeah, I think for Alpha 7, we also got to take into account that I think around 20-some points is from 1 match today. So although the scoreline doesn't look terrible being in 5th place right now, the consistency factor is not great. You know, that is the bad part of showing for Alpha 7. Virtus.pro, on the other hand, I think they've been able to get their points like consistently throughout the day. They have been not major points, but they've still been consistent points. DXavier, similarly, they're going to pull the same old here. And it is nice that we get to talk about DXavier in a central position here on Miramar, because I think that Miramar is probably DXavier's favorite map. And it is because there is so much more space, so much more room to rotate through, that a lot of times you can make these crazy rotates direct center and get away with it because there's just no sightlines looking at you because the map is just that much bigger. So for DXavier, I'm hoping to see a strong game here from them, because especially in open zones as well, DXavier favors those types of maps too.
I don't think you can rely on Miramar, though. I don't think you can't rely on one specific map in that way. Not in these shorter sets of tournaments. I mean, 18 matches, it does start to get towards average performance stages on 18 matches. But when you're looking, especially towards the last chance, especially towards the very, very quick stages that could really get away from you, it starts to get difficult, man. Like, you just don't have as much opportunity to play consistently. You do need those big games wherever you can take them. So
I do
relying
think
on single maps is not viable.
Yeah, I do think that it's not such a bad thing, though, because I think that teams that are good at Miramar are few and far between, whereas teams that are good at Erangel are like a dime a dozen, right? So I think if you're quite good at Miramar and are able to recreate that frequently, that's okay. That's going to get you a lot of points, because it's going to be the amount of teams that win like 3 times in a row on Erangel, it doesn't happen very often. The amount of teams that get top 3 times in a row on Erangel, that doesn't happen very often as well, because it's constantly changing. You might have a team that's slightly more consistent than the other, but if we're able to get like top 3 twice a day on Miramar, fair enough. I mean, that's decent points for you.
Yeah, I think especially when if you're talking about beating bubbles, right? That's where I think that's definitely very impactful, right? Where you're talking about, as you say, getting top 3 in 2 Miramars a day. That may be enough to just get you to 7th place, kind of off the back of whatever you can get from the rest of the matches, even if you're sort of an average performer there. So yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to talking about a top team, though, it is a big worry if you can't perform at that same level on all of your maps, because if you want to be a world champion, you do need to have that sort of credential in your back pocket. It's not about getting 7th, getting 4th anymore. It's about getting 1st.
I mean, you say that, but Alpha 7 kind of won PMWC purely off Miramar.
Okay, well, there's always exceptions. If you're getting 30 points every Miramar, sure. The arena
Well, they
seems to
were
be
getting
delivering
30 points, but yeah, anyway, we'll carry on. We'll have a discussion of another day.
If you get 45 points in Miramar, then sure. Thunder Talk making it real difficult for the arena right now. They are down to 1. Maybe able to get a res and back up to 2. R8 suffering as well as the Mad Bulls want more. R8, they started very strong, and now they have that 1st place taken from them. That 2nd place now as well, and it looks like they're not going to have too much longer to defend that 3rd place either. Because OG, you know that they're going to want to try and chase that down. A bit of a gap there, but Tulika wants to start points back into the back of the buggy. Not going to find it though. Mori gets out of there for R8. Last player to stand.
Yeah, Mori dipping off into the distance. I don't want to play with this one too much longer. We're already down to 10 teams, 34 players as well. Surprisingly. This is quite a quick game. 20 minutes though on the clock. And with such a open field around us, yeah, it sort of makes sense that we are going to have a pretty rough end game for a lot of teams. Amori spots over towards Tulika, who's currently using the buggy to get some high ground performance. Wolves getting ripped to pieces. Sorry, DXavier getting ripped to pieces by Scarface alongside with Ketch. DXavier down to the 3. Oh my god. Like they sent in the porcupine. They were just getting shredded.
I mean, Ulf still have 2 players as well. They didn't send the backlines in. The first wave did damage. There's an opening there, but the healing's going to be coming through. I don't think Ulf are going to move, though. Kara in a similar position on that western side. Have got 4 players.
Stop this.
I mean, he's got literally no tires on the buggy. He's drifting like an ice skate.
I don't know
behind some
what.
cover.
Yeah, just shoot the grenade out the air. That's how you do it.
He's got no meds.
Yeah, I really wasn't entirely sure what the plan was there. Like, make the most noise possible in the slowest vehicle available. Is that what we were trying to accomplish there? Interesting. Thunder Talk with one of the few compounds available. Wolves could head down towards the northern compound there, and you can sort of play out this game in tandem between Thunder Talk and Wolves. They don't really have to fight one another. You can. I think this is one of the few situations I don't see players in PUBG Mobile do this enough, is that you can play this position as basically neighbors, and you help each other until the end, and then you must battle. But you guaranteed second.
I mean, that might be enough for this stage, certainly. PK taking shots out towards the forward point of Virtus Pro. As they are 2-2 right now. Or actually, no, hang on a minute. Are they? Yeah, they're just 1-2. As Malloy is on his lonesome out there. Does have that foothold, though, closer to the circle than either of these two other teams. And one of them's going to have to move first. We'll see who it is. Mad Bulls might actually try and backfill this. We've seen crazier things today. That's a big opener as Aragorn take it down very, very low, but survives. Ragnarok trying to break forwards. I wonder if Malloy's going to be able to stop this one from doing too much damage. It's going to be Voston, though. Ever on the swivel, doing work, doing bits for him. Zed, next up on the road to go down, and that will be Malloy to take that one. Yiki are sending out one by one. It is not ideal. Certainly not the best way to do things.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Aragon still taking shots over the top here. Virtus Pro, again, quite a messy team, but there is a method to the madness with VP. And that is undeniable at this point.
Ooh, Kara slicing through OG on the western side. To little to no resistance. And Kara happy to have the points from the bottom of the tables.
They'll do the trick for now. I mean, definitely need to get more points on the board, but I think if you're able to get like 20-25 points, you're at least able to have tomorrow. Like, there's potential to bring that scoreline back up, because although I say for Mad Bulls you're able to end the day with 70 points all but settled, there is that outside chance that tomorrow and the day after Mad Bulls get 0 points both days. So what I can do now, regardless of what position you're in, is only going to give you a little bit more for the next few days. So if this is hurrah for today for Kara, you know, you could even set yourself up with 30 plus points if you were to get a chicken dinner here. Yeah.
I mean, ball from Kara's position as well. It's going to be difficult though. Red Talk, who at the top of the tables, they've already got 6 elims, 4 players all alive, max HP. I mean, that's going to be a difficult challenge to take them down. The question is, will Thunder Talk have to leave? Because Kara have got the outside track, right? They've got that outside ground covered. The ridge lines that they hold, really nice for the run-out cover. You can see they have some man talk with that terrain to play around and vehicles, or as sparse they may be, to muck around with. Ulf, I think, taking shots up to the north, though. That's going to make it trickier, but Ulf have to move with that circle pop.
Well, there you go. See, Koos is playing the building on the north side. It's like he was listening to the stream or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good spot to play. And then they're going to hold down towards VP, and anyone wants to rotate up towards the north. Yeah, I think they're going to regroup back on Koos now, though, which is the smart decision. Leave 2 players down below. Just take shots at Virtus Pro as they attempt to leave. But you're accelerating the game now massively with this circle shift. Towards the dead center of this circle is just this small hilltop you can see right here. In front of the Mad Bulls, which is very, very difficult to play around, but you can at least isolate some fights in terms of the sidelines. That's as best as it's going to give you, but it still, again, is going to be pretty open pitch warfare.
At the moment, I'm looking at where that 7th place is going to end up blank. And Virtus Pro, they're already, I believe, going to be jumping up to at least level with Alpha 7 on a tiebreaker with the placement point they have yet to technically earn on this match, despite being guaranteed at least 1. If they can survive a little bit longer, that could go up to 2. Grab an Elim, maybe. That's what they're looking for, and get over Alpha 7. DX Xavier, actually in with a decent shout of getting quite far into this one, even if it's a tough time. Aaron for Ulf last to stand, drops the smoke, but no more Mad Bulls to actually worry about on the run out. The blue zone, though, that's a bit more of a worry. See the damage it's doing. Goodness me. Grenade actually coming from Virtus Pro over towards Mad Bulls. They may be able to pick up that point here and now.
Okay. Let's see what they get done off the back of VP's push out, but it's pretty good. Takes down Flip at least. But Wolves are still getting more points off the back of this one, and teams are parting ways with their players. Left, right, and center. That's a nice nade. Little bit short on the pitch.
Does get spotted. Not too sure who that's from, but I think it's the Wolves. There we go. Virtus Pro, you can see they will get locked in at 39 points now. Alpha 7 now. Potentially at risk of dropping out, but very unlikely here. Unless, well, the Wolves jump up nice and high, but it will be around that 40-point boundary today. To be 7th place. DXavier with the 1 Elim. They've been quiet in the shack for a while now, but they're going to need to do more to hold off Kara on the western side.
DXavier still sat strong with inside the shack. And again, you know, getting themselves a nice shot from Parajan. I mean, that is a very, very difficult angle to make work, but that's going to delay in a nasty way as well, John.
Definitely difficult terrain to be moving through now. Kara, CEO looking to heal before the move. They don't have a lot of time because the zone's going to start to close in 3 seconds. Poser's ankles have been spotted. He's dodging out the way and he's sprayed out. And they aren't quite connecting with it in any sense. When they go out wide, a lot of ammo already expended on the spray down towards the player behind the buggy, and they're up close. They haven't been knocked yet, but there's still time. Levi's down first, but there's the trade from Natey. 1 for 1. The Wolves move in as well. Marceau moving into the high ground on the off angle. Just Paragin on the inside, but the burn is on. It's Coops to do the damage, though, as the Wolves claim the lion's share of the points here.
I mean, Wolves just getting a lot done off the back of this, but Kara, 7 elims on the game, up towards a top 3. That is a really big result for them. Not quite the chicken dinner that maybe they were hoping for, but it's still very, very good. Thunder Talk looking for the second chicken dinner of the day. The Chinese team who came in today looking fantastically strong with some very good coordination, now looking to drop down a shower of thunder upon the Wolves.
And we'll see if they can convert. Really solidify themselves at the top of the tables. The Mad Bulls wanting to get pushed aside here with Thunder Talk already claiming enough points to surpass them. How much further can they go to lock in their top spot? Kara as well looking to finish their day on a high after a lack of point scoring so far. They'll want a little bit more. And the Wolves, they've been fairly middling today. An entrant from every angle of the tables to close us down.
They know it towards the walls now. Kara off in the distance, still attempting to lay down a curtain of smoke to keep them sails safe in between. You can see here so much utility being expended, but most teams now lacking on those smoke canisters. Kara taking damage. CEO last left alive. A little bit of damage done, but Wolves now stay alive with all 4 players. Nasty nade on the outbreak from Thunder Talk. Coops goes down, and now a 4v2.
A reality check from the top of the hill as Thunder Talk able to find 2 almost immediately. Sighting now in the smoke, running around. Here's Higgles on the off angle, looks to give them a good fight, but no, Thunder Talk too much. As the Wolves fall at the final hurdle, they can't keep it going, and it will be another chicken dinner found for the team from the PEL.
Thunder Talk, just an incredible team today. And I mean, that started off with sightings 180 on the Pompey. Extremely fun stuff. And I mean, holding the heart just a little bit there because it did get hectic towards the end. It's going to get a little bit more hectic with some interviews later in terms of what went down today. But before then, we're going to head to a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
And there you go, the final blow. The Thunder Talk were able to stand tall at the end of the day. A nice even distribution on the damage, on the damage dealing across the board, on the elims as well. A really solid performance from Thunder Talk. Not the loudest, but certainly the most impactful today.
Yeah, getting towards that position on the map is very, very good overall. I mean, being on the low ground as well is even better. Gives you a lot of freedom to roam, and by the time they needed to come out, they had a lot of control over the map. And I think that's the thing, is that they didn't decide to stay inside that building for too long. They actually proactively removed themselves from there and started to push down towards the other teams a little bit earlier than I think most teams would do. And that gave them a lot of advantage over both Wolves as well as Kara, because by the time Kara's fight wrapped up between them and Wolves, all the high ground was available to the guys on Thunder Talks. And I do think that nade over towards Doran was the thing that just dropped off the entirety of that fight for the Wolves. If that doesn't hit, maybe it's a little bit more of an even combat. Yes, they have the high ground, but still really crazy nade over towards Doran. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the last game, John.
Yeah, it was certainly pretty flashy on some fronts there. Obviously, with the Wolves doing a lot during that game. Started off well for OG. They were able to get a lot of points extracted out of APG. And their day-to-day for OG has been a really remarkable one, I think. It's maybe I'd say it's definitely not what we expected coming into this tournament, considering, you know, that the Indian region in general has not really seen the global stage in a very long time in this way. PMWC didn't go particularly well for them, but the fact that they've come up here and they've done really well, getting over 40 points in their first day, is going to be a massive confidence boost, not only to OG, but for the fans at home, through the region in general. I'm hoping that we'll see more from them. Unless they're being nasty, then they can go away.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that if I'm coming from purely from an esports perspective, I think it's very, for the players in particular, who I care about the most here, I think it must be very pleasing for them, because I think most of the time when India comes to a big international tournament like this, they do really struggle playing catch up. I said that in the past and I'll say it again now, because the first day is always the most rough for the Indian squads, because not being able to play with a lot of these international teams doesn't give you that experience. But the fact that they come into this one and it looks like they've really done their homework, that's impressive to me, and I have a lot of respect for that. Similarly for Thunder Talk, they're another region that doesn't get a huge amount of this international experience.
I'll tell you what else is really cool. I'm liking these graphics, right? This new addition, it's good. You could track where the teams rotated, where they stopped, where they were playing. It's Valdemar held for a long time down in the southwest for them as they're heading on in, and that rotate over towards the circles towards the end. I mean, all coming in from the west is interesting, that we had all of our teams rotating in on that west side.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things where you don't really want to come up through El Azhar anyway, because if you see here on the northwest side, that's where the majority of the cover is. You come up through El Azhar, you're having to push through roads. Like, no one really wants to do that. I mean, here potentially you have a team that plays down towards the south side, and that's where Virtus.pro set themselves up to go to. That doesn't work out. It goes over to the northwest. So you can clearly see like where things go wrong for teams and what decisions causes those things to go wrong. Again, there's that neighborly play style I talked about earlier. Wolves have to be the first to leave because Thunder Talk close to the circle, and then they move out just as that fight takes place. So it was overall a very cool end game, and ends just usually how it does with that particular circle. I think we've seen that circle multiple times, and it's always the same ending, no matter what.
Yeah, it's always nice to try and extract as many points, but generally tends to go the same way. 20 points total for Thunder Talk there at the top of the tables, with 10 elims found on the chicken dinner. Really solid way to close down the day. They're very close to that bubble already, Blank. I think that tomorrow's games should see them nice and safe. Some solid performances from other teams too.
But Regnum Karya, Alpha 7, I think Regnum Karya more than Alpha 7 here really need to step things up. Same with Alpha Gaming. I think a lot of people are disappointed in Alpha Gaming's performance, as with Regnum Karya. I think Korean fans will be also pretty upset with DRX's performance. I think that they're a really strong team, but they have not been showing up here whatsoever here in the Gauntlet. It is Something to remember, though, is that the Gauntlet is exclusive to our most elite teams throughout the year. And I think that does need to be stressed, because you're almost looking at like almost a PMGC grand final lineup right now, right here in the Gauntlet. Because even if these teams don't make it through, they'll still be playing out the rest of the tournament to try and make it back into the grand final. So let's say we ended it here, these 7 teams all made it in, you might see some of these teams face back up against our top 7 squads here at the top. So again, it's interesting the way this works, because we'll go back over towards groups where things might be a little bit less intense, but right now we're starting with a very, very intense portion of the tournament into a little bit more relaxed, then back into that intensity with the grand final right at the end there, John.
I mean, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hot take here, Blank.
Okay.
So here in this stage of the tournament is where you can be a 5th place team and make it to the grand finals, right? If you go to the group stages, if you then go to the last chance, you're not getting in that way. If you're a 5th place team, like generally you earn 5th place because of, you know, whatever reason, you do need to be getting through in this gauntlet. So I think for the teams around that bubble, it's actually more important for them than the teams that, you know, have really terrible days. So like an Alpha Gaming, for instance, if they continue to play as blandly as they have today, then I still have some confidence that they can just go, oh no, we're really good, and be incredible again. But if you're looking at the middle of the tables, and I'm talking about maybe like Wolves, for instance, it's really important for them to qualify here and now. Otherwise, they may not get another opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And I totally understand that. I think this is if there was a time to qualify, it's right now in the Gauntlet. It is such a fantastic opportunity for a lot of teams. But I think you're right with some of our teams towards the bottom of the tables as well. If they don't perform and they continue to not perform, and then we see them drop down time and time again, they go to last chance, you know, it's likely they just don't make it through the last chance. But yeah, there are some teams like Regnum Kai, like Alpha 7, like Alpha Gaming, where, yeah, you can sort of excuse them on the fact that they might go to group stage and they're just absolutely dominating their group. Like that's certainly a possibility. Definitely is. MVP for the day, of course. It's exciting for Thunder Talk. We saw him do so much. Top elites, top damage, very nearly the top survival time. I'd be interested to see who was top survival time. It may well be another Thunder Talk player. But yeah, fantastic stuff coming on through for the representatives from the PEL. They have incredible performance so far today. It is a question of perseverance. How much more can they put up, and how much more do they need to put up? Well, I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to head to an interview down on the stage. We'll see you guys later.
It's been such a long time since I've been able to say this. I have somebody from NA, USA to be specific, Wolves Esports, Doran. I mean, what a great way to finish. You guys did start off a little bit slow. What was the biggest struggle in day one?
I think our biggest struggle was like, we didn't know how the teams are playing. We didn't know the lobby, but from tomorrow we'll adjust that and play our game.
Which team was the biggest surprise out of day one?
I think the biggest surprise of the day one was like TT, the way they are playing together, taking the zones, and they are always in the end game. You know?
All right. Well, I mean, you guys were able to finish strong, as I said earlier. What have you been able to learn just throughout the day that you need to adjust going into day two?
I think what we need to learn and do tomorrow is like be more aggressive when we have opportunities in the games.
I mean, you guys were able to do that. You were able to jump up all the way from 9th place to 5th place. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to be able to do in the second day of the Gauntlet.
Doing a great job. End up in the top 5 in that fifth mark. Very happy with them. Top 7 is the goal for all these squads, guys. And easy day today. I mean, I'm gonna agree with Doran there. Thunder Talk, Dinners, Neptura. I know these guys.
Oh, absolutely. So are everybody who has been a fan of supporting them today, because going into it historically, when they do very, very well, right, in their region, then they come to Globe, not so hot sometimes. But this is a completely different TT to who we're used to seeing, and it's so nice to see. I think we got to a point where, in some ways, like we said, we are more of the team that everybody relies on to do well. And TT are coming back and going, hey, actually, no, we are back. We don't want to keep losing. We don't want to keep, falling down. We're not doing some win day. And it's really, really nice to see them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, the era of China was over after the back-to-back PMGC wins from Nova, but no, it's slowly coming back to that point, right? Initially, and now with Thunder Talk, so they've been doing absolutely amazing today. We'll have to see on the leaderboards, of course, how high they are, but I believe currently they are sitting pretty in that #1 spot. Followed up by Mad Niptura, a big because, of course, looking back at CSA, they had some really good moments here. But from the CIS region here, Mad Bull's putting on, in particular, that guy putting up numbers every single match. So today has been a day of pure and raw surprises, and I'm here for it.
Wow, man. Okay, overall, guys, make sure you streams all the socials as well for all the announcements. Day 2 and up in just a short bit. See you guys then. See you soon.